Yo, welcome to the channel. Shout out to my subscribers, all 8 of them. But today we're going to be going over a video that I think everybody should watch by the homie Truth and Edit. He made a lot of good videos that will help you grow in the faith. But if you didn't know, this channel is about connecting with the Most High God, Yahuwah, and His Son, the Messiah, Husha, in spirit and in truth. That being said, I'm just going in with the video.
I've spoken about the end times a great deal on this channel recently, and it's because I really feel that we're approaching a massive change in the very near future. And while we all should be mentally preparing for this, as believers, we must know that the devil is aggressively trying to remove us from our fellowship with the Most High. One thing as believers we must focus on is engaging in spiritual warfare. I have many messages that I desire to deliver, but as we break bondage and continue to prepare for our Father, spiritual warfare is an absolute must that we all must engage in. And it's irresponsible for me to continue to break down lies while not teaching how to successfully engage against the enemy and understand the wiles of the devil. Spiritual warfare is something that believers must engage in. And unfortunately, I have not seen the focus like there should be on the subject. As believers,
He's not lying. He's not lying. It's all spiritual. It's all spiritual. You may think it's all physical, flesh, and woo woo, but nah, it's all spiritual. Demons is real. Angels is real. Heaven and hell is real. Shoot, what we go through, what we go through, cause spirits, man, they attack. They jump from people to people. Get the word. Get back into it.
we must be diligent because our adversary, the devil, walks about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. When you live in a time period like this, where they have made witchcraft seem normal and certain occult practices have been made to be just a way of life or a way of thinking, it can be very dangerous for anyone because you don't know what you don't know. And if we're conditioned to accept things that are sinister in nature, but we're unaware of it, we accept.
Quick thing. That's why I don't watch horror movies. Cause that's that stuff real. Harry Potter, like, bro, they put it in y'all faces. Where do you think they get this stuff from? They just make it up in their head. No, like this is actual practices. Freaking even Wakanda, like freaking Black Panther. That's real African voodoo practice right there, bro. Just research this stuff. It's all out there.
Huge risk of inviting the enemy in when that wasn't truly our intention. The spirit world is something that a majority of us do not really consider. But as a believer, we must walk with an understanding that much of our battles are warred in the spirit. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war according to the flesh. 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 3. Have you ever experienced a feeling of being tired soon as you try to read your Bible? Or something that blocks you from reading the Bible altogether? Or though you know you need to commit your life to Yahusha, something always blocks you? Or many other things like this that interfere in your commitment with our Father? These things are spiritual. The enemy is engaging warfare against you. As believers, we must understand that our battle.
He's speaking straight facts. He's speaking straight facts. Me personally, going through a lot of stuff right now. All try to even, especially with females. Females, there's a lot of Jezebel spirits. And females, they tend to push you away from your calling to the Most High. And right now, we're at a time where He's calling His people. His day is coming, and before all this rapture, He gotta gather His people, read the Word, gotta gather. Yasharel, all the 12 tribes of Israel, he have to gather. And you think it's not gonna be no trials and tribulation? You think you struggling right now? You gotta get right and get right with Yah, the Most High, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Noah. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Noah. Like, come on now, people, wake up! Time.
Battles are spiritual, and we must approach the world with this understanding. Because if we are only thinking physically and emotionally while not wearing our spiritual armor and using it, we run a huge risk of being victims to the schemes and the wiles of the devil. So there are some things that we all need to be made aware of. There is a topic in spiritual warfare that many people are not aware of. And as we continue to discuss spiritual warfare, it is important that this topic is brought out to the light. We are going to discuss spiritual doorways. Let's begin. Okay, so here's the deal. In the church, Christians, they are not taught much about the enemy and how he wages war against us. We spoke about that in part 1. Yeah, we got that. Another problem Christians have is that they believe that once they accept Messiah in their heart and believe in him, they are instantly protected and guarded from the enemy. And here's the thing, they are not wrong. Yahusha fights for us and he does guard us. In a perfect world that is without major schemes of Satan, believers are hedged and protected so that demons and spirits cannot get into them. Absolutely, and I don't want to cast any doubt on that. But there are things that people need to understand. You see, unbelievers are also protected to a certain extent because our Father does not allow demons to violate our free will. There is a protective wall or hedge that demons cannot break through. If there weren't, they would be just jumping in and out and having their way in the world unchecked.
With that being said, they attack your thoughts. It's your flesh. It's your mind. It's what you crave for. And if you don't crave him, you crave this world. They will get you to do things that you will regret after. And this is all speaking through my experience. Like, you fight against spirits. You may think you're not, but you are. You really are.
You see, in order for demons to get into a person and dwell in their bodies, an opening in their protective hedge must be made. What I'm saying is that demons do not have the authority to just enter into people and take over and control them. They don't have the authority to possess any human that they want and do what it is that they please. It does not work this way. In the scriptures, there is one book that really explains the spiritual world and the demons that inhabit this world. It is the book of Enoch and the Apocrypha. And thanks to men like Martin Luther, these books were removed out of the Protestant Bibles and the Catholic Bibles, even though the early church fathers themselves, like Irenaeus, Tertullian, and the Clement of Alexandria, they even quote from Enoch.
I see. I got Enoch in the Sefer Bible. So if you guys wanna read it, it'll be my first time too. We can go over it together. Just let me know. Something.
The Epistle of Jude directly quotes from Enoch in verses 14 and 15. He says, "Now Enoch, the seventh from Adam, prophesied about these men also, saying, Behold, Yahuwah comes with 10,000s of his saints, to execute judgment on all, to convict all who are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds, which they have committed in an ungodly way, and of all the harsh things."
So my bad. But if you don't know, Yahuwah is the God of the Bible, the God of heaven and earth, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God of Israel. The God of Israel has a name. You know, it's not Lord. It's not God. You could call anybody God, but we're gonna get that. We're gonna get back into that in a later video. But his name is Yahuwah, and his son, whom he sent, the Messiah, name is Yahusha. Using Hebrew translation. Why? Because they was Hebrew. Alright, let's get back into the video.
Which ungodly sinners have spoken against him. Again, that's Jude chapter 1, verses 14 and 15. You see, this directly comes from the only verse of chapter 2 of Enoch. It says, "Behold, he comes with 10,000s of his Kodashim to execute judgment upon them, and destroy the wicked, and reprove all the carnal for everything which the sinful and wicked have done, and committed against him." That's Enoch chapter 2, verse 1. And also, verses 3 and 4 of the first chapter of Enoch says, "Upon their account I spoke and conversed with him, who will go forth from his habitation, the holy and mighty one, the Elohim of the world, who will hereafter tread upon Mount Sinai, appear with his host, and be manifested in the strength of his power from heaven." Enoch chapter 1, verse 3 and 4. You see, the Israelites read Enoch and they understood what was spoken of in it. But the early church fathers, though some do quote from Enoch, others rejected the book of Enoch. You see, these are the Gentiles who created Christianity, of which I've spoken in great detail against in the Testing Christianity series. As it is quoted from the Catholic Encyclopedia under the topic of the Book of Enoch, Ethiopia.
Don't leave that. It's another video. Get into that. Christianity, we're gonna get into all the religion. Let me finish talking. Hear him out. Be open minded, you know?
Ethiopic. They use this because the Book of Enoch is actually in the Ethiopian Bible. Anyways, under this term it writes, "Passing to the patristic writers, the Book of Enoch enjoyed a high esteem among them, mainly owing to the quotation in Jude. The so-called Epistle of Barnabas twice cites Enoch as scripture. Clement of Alexandria, Tertullian, Origen, and even St. Augustine supposed the work to be a genuine one of the patriarch. But in the 4th century, the Enoch writings lost credit and ceased to be quoted. After an allusion by an author of the beginning of the 9th century, they disappear from view. So great was the oblivion into which they fell that only scanty fragments of Greek and Latin versions were preserved in the West. The complete text was thought to have perished when it was discovered in 2 Ethiopic manuscripts in Abyssinia by the traveler Bruce in 1773. So yeah, the founders of Christianity, the Gentile founders, are the reason why, like most things in Christianity, people don't follow what the Hebrews believed in. But yes, the Hebrews, they believed in Enoch, which is why Jude quotes from it. Now, the reason I bring Enoch up is first, because I believe it should be read. It's in the Sefer and the Hallelujah scriptures has the book of Enoch and the other apocryphal books as well. But the book of Enoch is a great book to understand the spiritual side of this world and what we are up against, which is one reason why I believe that this book is not encouraged to be read. In it, we learn how the Son of Man learned wickedness in this world. Like it says here, moreover, Azazel taught men to.
You know the Marvel movie Eternal? If you ever watch Marvel, they do a lot of this stuff. Where you think they get it from? They read this stuff. They know the history. They know the truth. Marvel Eternals? Because I didn't read Enoch, but I glanced through it. The first couple of pages, that's what it talks about. It talks about how these angels came down and taught men to sin, make weapons, to do this and that. We're gonna get into that later too, man. It's a lot of stuff I'm trying to tell you. I'm warning you guys. I'm letting y'all know the truth. People lie. Humans lie. It's up to you. You wanna know the truth? Pray to Yah. Let him fill you with the truth. Ask him for his truth, and he'll delightfully show you the truth. I'm telling you. But the Marvel movie Internals, it's exactly like this. Just you don't even gotta watch. Man, if you watched it, watch it. If you didn't watch it, you don't gotta watch it. But come on now, put it in our faces. Where do you think these people get it from?
make swords, knives, shields, breastplates, the fabrication of mirrors, and the workmanship of bracelets and ornaments, the use of paint, the beautifying of the eyebrows, stones of every valuable and select kind, and all sorts of dyes, so that the world became altered. Impiety increased, fornication multiplied, and they transgressed and corrupted all their ways. Amarzaric taught all the sorcerers and dividers of roots, Armors the solution of sorcery, Barkalao the observers of the stars, Akabeal signs, Temayal taught astronomy, and Asmodel taught the motion of the moon. and men being destroyed cried out, and their voice reached to heaven. Enoch chapter 8, verses 1 through 9. And you see, it is this root of wickedness that the wicked sorcerers of the earth today fill the earth with. People forget what's prophesied of Mystery Babylon. Remember, Revelation says, and he cried mightily with a loud voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become a dwelling place of demons, a prison for every foul spirit, and a cage for every unclean and hated bird. Revelation chapter 18, verse 2. Also in Revelation it says, the light of a lamp shall not shine in you anymore, and the voice of bridegroom and bride shall not be heard in you anymore. For your merchants were the great men of the earth, for by your sorcery all the nations were deceived. Revelation chapter 18, verse 23. For by the sorcery of Mystery Babylon, all the nations were deceived. And that is precisely what the problem is in this world today. It is overrun by sorcery and witchcraft. Today, evil is now good, and most people are completely unprotected. Things are so evil that their sorcery is now just our entertainment and is what we are consumed by. And as they fill us up with their wickedness, day by day the world gets more wicked and more evil. And this subject about spiritual doorways is a major reason why and how evil has been able to be spread. The people have opened the door and allowed demons in. The same way people believe they go to church and go to the altar call and they say that they accept Jesus into their hearts is the same way people leave church, turn on their radio, scroll on their social media feeds, or turn on their televisions and accept demons into their hearts as well. As I said, in order for demons to get into a person and dwell in their bodies, an opening in the protective hedge must be made. They can't just do it on their own. People must allow them in.
I've been a pastor for over 20 years. This is a very important message that I urge every American to pay close attention to, especially if you live in.
Now, let me make something clear. If you watch horror movies, you may get instantly scared when you hear about demons and demon possession.
Trying to tell ya, it's in the movies, the music, people. It's everywhere. They floating around looking for hoes. Like Venom. Exactly like Venom. Now think about it.
There is demon possession that can take hold of a person's body and do very bad things. That is very real, and many people are affected by this, unfortunately. Most people in mental institutions are those that are overly oppressed by demons. We do not wrestle against flesh and blood. The secular world just tells you it's chemical imbalances and other secular reasoning, but it is in fact demons. So yes, demon possession is a real thing. But that is not what the majority of the
Remember that. We do not wrestle against flesh and blood.
world are dealing with. And in those cases, in order to war against those demons, you need a strong group of believers that can help you with that. You would need a deliverance ministry. And I personally have not come across a strong deliverance ministry that are able to fight against the demons today, because most of these ministries are plagued in lies. So the belt of truth that they should be wearing, it's very loose. It's just a condition of the times that we're in as the world prepares for the beast. Remember, it's prophesied just as it says in Revelation. It says, for by the sorcery of Mystery Babylon, all the nations were deceived. You see, it's just a reality of what we will be in before the kingdom of Yah comes. In order for that prophecy to be true, it has to be very wicked on the earth, which it clearly is at this point right now. So yeah, demon possession.
Read your word. Read your word. I'm telling you. Read your word.
Is real, but that is not what the overall common risk is and what I'm speaking on. being bound by demonic spirits is not always like what you see in the movies. And that's what I'm just trying to convey. For most people in this world, being bound and led by demonic entities, it's often very subtle, and you do not know the influence is actually there. In the world that we live in today, for many of us adults, it's safe to say